I want to talk to you about your investing as a result of what has happened and the change that's going to occur and who are going to be the winners and losers. I've been doing about a video a day, and so last night I sat down and I watched some of the people that I've watched in the past to get some idea of what kind of videos they're doing in this. And I got into the YouTube business, if you will, as a result of my endeavors in real estate. And so two of the people that I've watched very regularly and I actually have taught me a lot about YouTube is Kevin. He goes under the handle of Meet Kevin, and Graham Stevens. They're both involved in real estate, and then they also both get involved in talking about investing. And as long as they stay in the world of investing in real estate where they worked, I think that's fine. But I watched two videos last night that I was just dumbfounded by. First of all, they're both in their 30s. They're in their low 30s. So I don't know that they've ever known fear. I know neither one of them experienced the fear of the Vietnam War. They were both in maybe 10 years old when the planes hit the Twin Towers. They were probably in their low 20s when the subprime crisis occurred. I think back to the fear that went across this nation when those planes hit the Twin Towers and Pentagon, and how it became impossible to imagine that you would get on an airplane until our nation came together and removed that fear, and removed the fear that when I got on that plane, there wasn't a terrorist. The word terrorist became a part of our vocabulary. And I don't think either one of them understand that. They don't grasp that it used to mean that you would walk in and buy a ticket and get on an airplane. Now you got to take your shoes off, you got to take your belt off, you got to empty your backpack, and we're happy with it because they've removed the fear. But the airlines now are facing the same issue. I will not get on an airplane and sit shoulder to shoulder with a mother and their daughter coming back from San Diego like I did the 3rd of March, and they were both coughing and sneezing. I will never do that again until they make sure and convince me that that will never happen to me again. Then I watched Kevin for 14 minutes do a video on which are the best buys. Royal Caribbean as opposed to Carnival, American Airlines as opposed to Southwest and Delta. What the hell? This is bottom feeding. Is this what we're teaching our next generation, that investing means that you go in and you find the companies that are down 65% and you buy them because they may come back 20%. Folks, that's not investing. That's stupidity. Trying to pick the loser, the best of the losers. I just don't understand that, and it scares me. And it scares me that one of them had over 150,000 views in less than 24 hours, and the other one, Kevin, had, I think it was 32,000. Am I jealous of that? Yeah, I'm jealous of that. But I'm also scared to death about it, that this is what our younger generation is being taught about investing. So let me tell you what I think investing should look like at this time, and how we should look at winners and losers, and how I learned from the subprime crisis and 9/11, and how it's guiding my investing. I think the best understanding you can gather is that of the subprime crisis. That occurred between '07 and '08, and then we came through it. I would ask you a question. As a result of the subprime crisis, which was the banks and housing, the real estate market, what is the biggest change that happened in your life from 2009 till today? What is the biggest change in your life that can in any way be tied to the subprime crisis? Give it some thought. Okay, here it is. This is the biggest change that occurred in your life between 2009 and today. What the hell does that have to do with the subprime crisis, you might be asking? Everything. Everything. Because our debt our national debt, our consumer debt, all skyrocketed. Our national debt's the easiest to draw a picture of. It went from $8 trillion to $24 trillion from '09 to today. That 8 trillion to 24 trillion. Well, what does that have to do with the subprime crisis? We created liquidity that then created technology that then created this and created 4G and created this, YouTube, and changed your life. That's what changed your life. I want you to look, I've done this before, I want you to look at a chart of the increase of our national debt. Now here's a chart of the increase in the S&P 500 over the same period of time. Do you recognize any similarities there? Technology was funded by debt. Fear was removed from the housing market, from the banking market, through technology, through debt. Why is the stock market not going down when we were just told that 10 million people have filed for unemployment? Why has the stock market not gone down when we recognize the unemployment rate will go from 3% to 20% within the next 3 months? Why has the stock market not gone down? Liquidity, debt. As you watch the S&P from 2020 to 2030, you're going to see the same increases. As we increase our debt, our S&P will go up. So don't go bottom feeding. Those companies are going to go out of business unless they use technology to convince me that I'm not going to sit for 6 hours next to a woman and her daughter sneezing and coughing next time I fly from Birmingham or from San Diego to Birmingham. I won't get on a plane. I will not get on a cruise ship. I will not go to a concert. I will not go to a restaurant until technology convinces me that I'm safe. Now, Kevin in his video says, and Carnival Cruise Lines is claiming that their bookings for next spring are up 25%. Yeah, those are the same idiots that were on Miami Beach during the spring break in the middle of this. They've got to remove my fear because I'm the consumer that drives this economy. They've got to remove your fear because you're the consumer that drives this economy. Until they do that, they don't stand a chance. So, I don't care what airlines it is. I don't care what cruise ship it is. I don't care what entertainment industry it is, unless they're coming through my TV or unless they're coming through my goggles. We'll talk about that. So what is the change? What is the change that's coming that is going to give you indication as to where you should be investing your life savings. Certainly not in Carnival Cruise Lines and Delta. The change is going to be the same way the change came last time you had fear. That's when you were losing your home if you're of the right age. That's when you were losing your job if you're at the right age. It's going to come from more debt pumped into more technology. Let me look a little into the future. I have found that over the last 2 weeks, the only network TV I watch is Lester Holt with the evening news. And then I immediately go to either Netflix or Prime TV or Hulu, and I watch a series of something. I just loved Ozark. Oh my God, that was phenomenal. Having been a financial advisor, I never really got too heavy into laundering money, but that was fascinating. That's where I'm being entertained. I was telling my wife today, I said, what if I could put you on the 4th row of a Broadway theater and you could watch Hamilton with its original cast? What if I could do that for you? And she said, would I be sitting next to somebody that was sneezing and coughing? No. I said, you'll be sitting next to me. Well, she said, well, who will be on the other side? I said, there'll be nobody on the other side. It'll just be you and I in the theater watching Hamilton. So how are you going to do that? I said, there's a thing called Oculus virtual reality headsets. They're used by gamers. And they can virtually put you anywhere that the software wants to put you. They could put you in the 5th row watching Hamilton. She said, could I, in the 5th row, can I see the actors spit when they pronounce their words? Because that's what we always enjoyed when we went to Broadway plays. Yeah, you could see that. Wow, I'd love that. I said, what if then the next evening, rather than flying to Las Vegas, we could see Circus du Soleil production of the Michael Jackson. Oh my goodness. Would I get the 5th row again? Yeah. And if you wanted to stand up and look to see how many people were in the theater, you could look and see, but you're going to be sitting in our living room doing it. How am I going to do that? With the Oculus virtual reality headset. And then if the next day you want to tour Rome and maybe get a private tour of Vatican City, you can do that with your Oculus virtual reality headset. That's what's coming tomorrow. That's what's coming as a result of the $10 trillion that our government is going to pump into the economy, that's going to stimulate the technology, that's going to remove my fear and make me a happy citizen again. That's what's coming. And it's not going to be at the theater. It's not, I might even be on the 26th row of the Super Bowl. And it isn't going to cost me $2,000 a ticket. It might cost me $50, but I'm going to be watching them with my Oculus virtual reality headset and some outstanding software. I'll even be able to stand up and say, give me a hot dog. You're going to have to go to the kitchen and make the hot dog, Nita. But that's how real it's going to be. I'll even be able to go skiing in Vail with my grandson while I'm here in Birmingham and he's in Atlanta with my Oculus virtual reality headset. Guess who owns Oculus? Facebook, who I bought yesterday. They're going to be the leaders in that field. They're going to take over the entertainment business. Now, I also believe Disney's going to probably buy Circus du Soleil. I believe that Apple is going to grab up some of the bottom feeding. I believe their technology is going to take me to new places. I believe that those big six are going to take the fear out of my life and make me comfortable with where I am. The other area that is going to change dramatic is healthcare. They have to make me comfortable that you're safe, that I'm safe being around you. They have to give me a smart bathroom where they test my pee, they test my poop, they test my blood, they test my saliva, and they look at my body, and it goes into the cloud and it comes back and says, Kerry, you're clean. You're allowed out of the house today. Watch the videos of what's happening in China as they're opening up Wunan, and how these people have to be able to prove as they walk down the streets that they're safe. This is all being driven by Tencent, by Baidu, and Alibaba. I don't want to invest in them because I think China's going to get a slap on their wrist for this whole thing, and the whole economics of that is going to change. But that's another video. We are going to demand smarter phones, smarter cars, smarter homes, and smarter health care. We are going to demand that because the consumer runs this economy. Do not kid yourself that the government runs it, or that Apple runs it, or that Amazon runs it. You run it. You and I spend our dollars in the directions that make us feel safe and happy. And that's who's going to be the winners in this results of this crisis, the results of World War III. And you do not need to go bottom feeding to profit off of this. You need to read, you need to learn, you need to just recognize the change that has happened to you since 2010, and it had nothing to do with anything other than making you happy, making you safe, and the government spending $14 trillion over the last, 12 years? They're going to spend another $10 trillion over the next 3 years. You just need to follow the money.